They poisoned my shade trees, so I buried their renovation under environmental code. My property sat on a third of an acre at the edge of a small Midwestern town, a craftsman bungalow I'd bought 12 years ago. Out front stood two mature elms, each nearly 60 years old, casting a deep canopy over the lawn and keeping the house cool through summer. The trees were healthy, inspected annually, and trimmed by a licensed arborist. When I installed a small rain garden beneath them 5 years back, the city even gave me a sustainability grant. Those trees were part of the neighborhood's character before most of the new houses even existed. Then came my new neighbor, Trevor. He bought the corner lot last spring, an architect from Chicago eager to modernize what he called a sleepy block. His house was all glass and steel, and from the first week he complained that my trees blocked his natural light aesthetic. He mentioned it at the mailbox one morning, smiling too tightly. Maybe you'd think about trimming them way back. I told him they were city-protected elms and that pruning limits were strict. He nodded, then shrugged. Well, sunlight's a shared resource, right? A month later, I returned from a 3-day conference to find both trees browning from the base up. Leaves hung limp and spotted, the bark oozed sap. My arborist's face went gray when he saw the drill holes near the roots, filled with a white powder. He said quietly, someone used triclopyr, intentional poisoning. When Trevor saw me taking pictures, he strolled over, holding his coffee. You really think they'd last forever? Maybe now you'll get some light too. I didn't answer. I documented everything. Photos of the holes, samples of the soil, the arborist's written statement. I submitted it to the city's environmental enforcement office. 2 weeks later, an inspector walked my property with a clipboard and grim efficiency. This is criminal mischief under the Urban Tree Protection Act, he said, and since these were registered shade trees, the penalty scales with property value. Trevor tried to preempt the fallout with a lawyer's letter offering to cover removal costs and suggesting I plant younger, more manageable trees. I forwarded it to the city investigator. 3 weeks later, Trevor received a formal notice, $27,000 in assessed damages, restoration order, and a stop work order on his pending home addition until restitution was complete. When enforcement day came, I stood on the curb as a crew arrived, not for my property, but his. They marked off his side yard, measuring runoff zones, foundation depth, and tree root encroachment. The inspector's voice carried, all construction activity suspended pending compliance. Trevor stared at me across the hedge, pale and silent. Last month, I planted 2 new elms in the same spots. Their roots are deep now, and the light falls exactly where it should. This is over, permanently,